Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Are you trying to improve your spoken English but can't find a capable partner to practice with? Maybe because of money, your environment, or your introversion? Don't worry, you can still be fluent even on your own. In this video, I'll explore some simple habits that help me practice English alone, and they're super easy to do. And don't forget to stick around till the end because I've got an extra tip to show you how to get feedback even if you're completely alone. Let's get into this. Let's start with output practice. One of the best ways to practice English speaking alone is simply by imitating native speakers. The content I recommend is videos, just videos, because this is something that you can hear and see at the same time. What you need to know is that it is very important to practice over and over again until you are fully familiar with the content, the tone, the pronunciation in the video. You might be thinking, well, I have difficulty doing that. All the passages out there are very advanced, and I'm not able to really imitate the speakers here. But that's not a big problem. You don't have to start with very advanced content like texts excerpted from Advanced English or The Economist at the beginning. You can always choose to start with simple passages or just a simple segment from authentic video content. For example,
Hey, Vsauce! My name is Michael.
And my name is Kevin.
Names. Humans give each other names, but so do dolphins.
I watched these clips many times and they stayed in my head. It is actually okay if you don't understand 80% of the video. You can just practice with the 20% you do understand. Once you've mastered that part, you can move on to learn the rest. And it is also okay if it takes you a week, 2 weeks, or even a month to fully understand one video here. That's totally fine. Once you've practiced it many times, you're most likely to be able to remember clearly some of the content in that video. That's when you can start speaking without needing the video itself. And again, just speak the parts you know, the parts you are able to understand and speak. You may do whatever you feel like it. Kamikaze planes and torpedoes driven by a single pilot, lost after use. When outnumbered, without hope, the Japanese soldiers threw themselves off cliff and swam out to sea to drown rather than surrender. But imitation is not enough. It is basically a way to rephrase or remember something that you consumed. On the journey to becoming a good English speaker, it is very important to also practice speaking on your own. And here are some pretty good tips. First tip, speak about what's around you. Just like a toddler, exploring the world. Not kidding. Learning English like a toddler is the best way to master a language you don't know. You can see how many words you can learn just basically by looking at a corner of your room. And what it is, this is a bookshelf, which is made of bamboo. And you got some books over here, Harry Potter. I just took the first book out. Haven't finished yet. And this is ink. I got some cookie, matches, and we got some storage boxes for miscellaneous items. And look over here, this is a light, and we got some tripods. And this is the wireless microphone that I use for record the talking head videos. Some lenses, still more books. And the second tip, speaking about what you are feeling or tell you a story to yourself. I really like doing this because I have developed a habit of imagining an audience with another person in my mind and speaking to him. Maybe this is a gift or just an ability most people had as children. But many lose it as they grow up because this kind of behavior makes you look like a weirdo. And that's great. Being normal does not make you stand out. Right now, I'm actually practicing English alone right here because I want to do some verbal preparation of this video based on some simple mind map that I draw about what I thought about this video. And as you can see, this is a great opportunity or time you can practice English. Anytime, anywhere you want to practice English is okay, as long as you're going to run around. Even someone is around, but that's okay. Third tip, get yourself a test or enter a competition. There are tons of options out there, whether you're in primary school, secondary school, or college. And don't worry about whether people will laugh at you or if you feel disappointed if you don't do it well. If you don't take the first step, you won't make any progress in the future. So enter a context. It is the best way to stay motivated. It pushes you to learn, and if you have a good teacher who got you back, he or she might become your first great English speaking partner in school. It is never too late. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago or now. Once you develop the habit of speaking English out loud by yourself, you start to notice a kind of positive cycle happening. First, you begin to use English on your own. As you speak more, you gain more interest. As your interest grows, your passion for English starts to flood into your life, which fuels your motivation to keep learning. As you learn and learn and learn, you gain more knowledge. And that's when you start speaking more complex and sophisticated English. Then you build confidence as you receive more compliments and more encouragement, and with that, you begin to speak freely in English. The cycle just keeps on and on and on, round and round and round. For now, I'd like to mention that as you speak English alone, it is also inevitably important to gain more input. You don't just speak, you still need to learn something new every day. So how can you do that? I mean, outside of boring classes, in a place with no English-speaking community, with no trustworthy, supportive teachers around, how can you gain input? It is actually pretty easy as well. And I want to share 2 habits that really turn everything around me. My first habit is to make everything around me in English, with my utmost effort. I bought English books. When I knew I wasn't able to read every complex books, I got simple books, like ones adapted from professional writers to make original English fiction more readable and accessible. I also switched the language of all my digital products to English. My phones is in English, I used to have my desktop computer in English, and all that. When I started using a MacBook for the first time, I watched English tutorials. And then comes the second habit, involve English in my hobbies. So here's what you might do. Ask yourself, what are my hobbies? What do I do every day? What kind of content do I consume almost daily? That's a very simple question. Then think for yourself. Can I actually do these things with English involved? If you like watching TV series or reality TV shows, try adding English-related content to your playlist. If you play video games, try switching the language to English. Or look for news, forums, or updates about the game in English. Even if the game is in your native language, there's always information and discussion about it somewhere in English. If you're into fashion or makeup, why not learn those technical terms in English? It can actually be a fun process. And the third important habit is to keep a vocab book. Your mind is not capable of remembering everything, so you need to write that down. It can be a traditional paper notebook, but personally, I prefer a digital notebook on my phone. I have a dedicated folder in my memo app where I keep the English phrases and vocabulary I've recently learned. By now, you know that you can learn English well on your own. I learned English all by myself throughout middle school, high school, and even my freshman year in college. For 6 years, I had no English-speaking partner, and honestly, I think I built a pretty good solid foundation here in speaking English. But still, I have to say, it is better to have someone to practice with. When I entered college, when I finally had a chance to be in the big city, I started to look for English-speaking communities. I found partners and joined English-speaking activities, and I have to say, my confidence really started to grow when I had people to really speak with. And here's my ultimate advice. If you have the chance, just go out there, meet someone who can speak English with you. But if you can't find someone, or you don't want to, and that's okay. Maybe you're introverted and don't feel comfortable talking to others unless you know them well. Maybe you don't want to speak English until you feel confident enough. And that's not your fault. If that's your situation, you can still learn English using the methods I shared in this video because that's exactly what I did before college. And once you realize you're good at it, once you feel that you can actually speak about something to someone, I'd encourage you to step out and start speaking to others. Even if no one around you motivates you, you can still roll the dice for your own life. Remember the bonus tip I talked about? And here it is. How do you get feedback even when you are practicing English alone? And that is actually try to record a video diary just like what I'm doing right now and post it online. And you can describe whatever you like to talk about, the weather, your location, the environment, your feeling, your thoughts, whatever you like to talk about. Actually, as you can see right now, I'm on top of a mountain right now, and the weather is, I would say it's partially sunny, although it's a little bit hot here, I actually have to admit. And I feel very excited because whenever I had the chance to stand on top of a mountain, whenever I had the chance to taste the serenity, taste the wind, take a deep breath of the fresh air, I feel very excited. Yeah, that's a video diary, and you can post it on whatever the platform you like. And the algorithms of these platforms, I have to say, are so smart that they give your video to the right person. And a person with a good English proficiency would definitely give you feedback. And oh, don't forget to ignore the haters here, because what they said about you does not mean anything to you, and just ignore them. And if you don't like to do it outdoor, you can actually do it indoor. And if you don't like to show up your face in front of a camera, you can just post the audio, which is totally fine. And yeah, that's the video diary, and I highly recommend you take this shot here. It's very rewarding. The second takeaway is also a good one, and that is let people around you know you are learning English. This might sound a little bit of paradoxical here, because this video is all about learning English alone. But at the end of the day, English is a social tool. It is something that connects people. It is how we communicate with others. My advice here isn't necessarily about talking to someone in English. It is all about letting the people around you know that you are learning English, that you are working on it. When people know that, they'll start to talk to you about it. They'll notice your progress and commitment to it. Even if they're not English speakers, they'll know you are improving. What I'm trying to say here is, English isn't a fake it till you make it thing. It's not like you can stay silent for a few months and then suddenly show up, voila, speaking perfect English. That's not how it works. Let people know about your journey. Give them a chance to see your growth from their perspective, and you will realize how far you've become. That's real feedback. And that's all for the sharing for this video. If you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like, or leave me a comment, or drop me a coin or something like that. And okay, that's the end of the video. I'm Shawn English here. Remember, happy learning!